Since squaring and taking the square root are inverses, we might think that this would be true, that the square root of x squared is equal to x. But do you see why that might not be the case? Consider possible different values of x and discuss it with a partner. Think about what if x is a positive number? What if x is 0? What if x is a negative number? Input those values and see if it's true or maybe if something a little fishy is going on. So, for instance, if we substitute in a negative number for x, we would have the square root of x squared is equal to x. So the square root, that would be, if we're substituting in for x negative 9, that would be the square root of negative 9 squared is equal to negative 9. Which then would simplify, negative 9 squared is 81. So the square root of 81 would equal negative 9. And then we're getting, though, that the square root of 81 is the principal square root. It's the positive 9, and that equals negative 9. And this result is impossible. Positive 9 does not equal negative 9. So how can we address this to assure all valid results? Right? For example, it works if x is a positive number or 0, but how can we take care of what if the value of x is a negative number? Well, we can use the absolute value. This definition will yield consistent results, where we have the square root of x squared is equal to the absolute value of x. So regardless of the sign of x, the result will be positive, since the absolute value of a number is always positive, or 0, of course, if we're talking about x equals 0. Squaring and then finding the principal square root always results in a positive number, or 0, and so we'll show that now. So now when we substitute in negative 9 for x, we're now using that the square root of x squared equals the absolute value of x, not just x. So if we have the square root of negative 9 squared equals the absolute value of negative 9, we then have the square root of 81 equals the absolute value of negative 9, which gives us 9 equals 9, positive 9 and positive 9. If you wanted to only get the negative square root or both the positive and negative square roots, how would you write that? Right? In this case, you're getting the positive square roots. What if you wanted the negative or both? What could we use? So again, we have to take advantage of that sign or symbol outside of the radical symbol. To only get positive square roots, we're going to stick with the x squared. The square root of x squared equals the absolute value of x. To get only negative square roots, we would have to put the negative symbol out front. So we would have the negative square root of x squared is equal to the negative absolute value of x. And then to get both square roots, we have to put that plus or minus symbol out front. You would have to put plus or minus the square root of x squared is equal to plus or minus the absolute value of x. Those symbols are really important if you want to differentiate between the positive, the negative, and the both square roots.